Each week, Ethan and I will be breaking down some of the top mock drafts across the league and how the prospects could impact the Jets. Now, before we dive into a specific mock draft, Ethan, what positions are you seeing the Jets going after the most at picks 4 and 10?
Well, first, I just want to say I love mock drafts. I love this segment. But right now, I'd say cornerback, pass rush, and wide receiver are the three most popular picks. Somewhat of a change after free agency began because offensive lineman, specifically at number 4, was a very popular pick as well. But after the signing of Laken Tomlinson, that's kind of dwindled.
Yeah, free agency always shakes things up. But this week, we're going to start out with NFL Network Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. And we're going with number 4.
All right,
He's given
DJ.
us
What do you got, DJ?
cornerback Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. What do you think of that pick?
Well, I think that this makes a lot of sense, and it seemed like Sauce has kind of cemented himself as CB1 in the draft, whereas if you and I were to have this conversation months ago, we'd probably think that we'd be discussing Derek Stingley out of LSU, but with Sauce, outside of a great nickname given to him by a youth coach when he was just 6 years old, he's got it. He's got great height at 6'3", he's got 4.41 speed, and on the field, Caroline, get this, more than 1,100 coverage snaps, not a single touchdown allowed in 3 seasons at Cincinnati. You take a look at the total numbers here, 9 interceptions, 3 in each of his 3 seasons with the Bearcats. And Daniel Jeremiah's colleague, Bucky Brooks, he compared him to a player that I think the Jets fans are going to like this comp, Antonio Cromartie.
Oh, how could Jets fans not be excited about that comparison? Okay, so let's go to pick number 10. Daniel Jeremiah has us picking
All right, here we go.
wide receiver Drake London out of USC. What do you think about a USC reunion with Elijah Vera Tucker and Drake London?
Well, I think that the slot machines are playing it right now because I think this makes sense, especially from a position standpoint. We know that the Jets were close to acquiring Tyreek Hill before he ultimately chose to go to Miami. But London, however, much different play style than Hill. He's 6'4", 219 pounds. He played basketball for the Trojans for 1 season, and that shows in terms of his on-field football play style. But the big question here is with the medical. He fractured his ankle in late October, so where will teams feel comfortable selecting London? But the production here speaks for itself. He was named the Pac-12's Offensive Player of the Year after playing just 8 games. Now, right here is his career numbers, all right? In 2021. 88 receptions, 1,084 yards, and 7 touchdowns in just 8 games, which are crazy to begin with. But there's only been one other player with at least 88 catches in 8 games in Power 5 history. This guy was also selected number 10 overall in 2009, and that was Michael Crabtree, who did that in 2007.
It's almost like fate for the number 10 pick. So obviously that's what Daniel Jeremiah is predicting, but Ethan, would you say those two are the most popular names at those positions?
Let's start with Sauce. I'd say so. Like I said earlier, if we were to have this conversation months ago, you'd probably see more of Derek Stingley with some Sauce sprinkled in, but right now, just across all mock drafts in general, not just for the Jets, it sure seems like Sauce is projected to be the first cornerback off the board. For wide receiver, specifically using the Jets at 10 as the example, I think Drake London's the most popular pick, but there are other mock drafts that have, let's say, someone like Garrett Wilson in that spot as well.
Well, we'll get into some of those other mock drafts as we progress in each week, because each week we're breaking down a different mock draft across the league and how those picks could impact the Jets.